House Republicans dragged us all down to a new low in the history of Congress today. Kevin McCarthy announced an impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden over, he doesn't know. But here's what he said.
It appears that the president's family has been offered special treatment. These are allegations of abuse of power, obstruction, and corruption, and they warrant further investigation by the House of Representatives. That's why today I am directing our House committee to open a formal impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden.
3 things to take away from this. First of all, this is a new low, not just for Congress, not just for Republicans, but for American politics. I'm not exaggerating. January 6th and everything that led up to it was about preventing the transfer of power in a democracy. How is this any different? Joe Biden is the president of the United States. Right-wing MAGA Republicans don't like that, so they're going to impeach him. It's promising a fair trial and a swift execution. McCarthy's entire reasoning is a bunch of circular double talk. Allegations have been made, therefore we should investigate them. What you mean to say is that you and your cronies have made allegations, you haven't been able to prove them, and now you're hearing the echo of the BS you spread around the first time and using it as justification for something that has no basis in fact, no supportive evidence, and is total invented vapor. We just had the Washington Post columnist Philip Bump on the show. He has cataloged in excruciating detail just how little evidence there is behind what Republicans are trying to allege here. It's like when Donald Trump says, a lot of people are saying. What you mean to say is, I am saying what I want and am pretending that there are other people who are also saying this. Make no mistake, this is still about trying to overturn the results of the 2020 election, plain and simple. That's what today's MAGA Republicans do. Remember a couple of months ago when Democrats won a huge victory in Wisconsin in a landslide, electing Janet Przejewicz to the Supreme Court. Now, Republicans are threatening to impeach her before she even hears any cases because, well, because she's going to rule in ways they don't like, including getting rid of the insane levels of gerrymandering in Wisconsin. It's the same thing with voter ID laws. It's the same thing with mail-in voting restrictions. It's always the same story these days. Republicans love democracy, if and only if they win. Point number 2 is about the staggering, incredible amount of hypocrisy here. I know, hypocrisy is something that no one cares about in politics these days. Mitch McConnell proved that when he stole one Supreme Court seat by saying we couldn't possibly hold hearings on Merrick Garland 9 months before a presidential election, and then stole a second Supreme Court seat by rushing hearings for Amy Coney Barrett a few weeks before another presidential election. But hypocrisy should matter. We should actually care that our political leaders stand for something besides whatever gets them more power. This impeachment inquiry couldn't be more hypocritical. Yes, we get it. Hunter Biden was trading on his father's name to try and earn a quick buck from some foreign companies. Where have I heard that story before? Could it be with Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump, who made $640 million while Donald Trump was in the White House? Or could it be the $2 billion that the Saudis gave to Kushner in a sweetheart political deal when the fund's advisors said that the investment in Kushner's company is unsatisfactory in all aspects and a terrible deal? Or Jared and Ivanka and Eric and Junior and Dopey and Sleepy and Doc? Wait, those are the 7 dwarves. It's all a blur. These guys are the all-star Hall of Fame of nepotism, the quintessence of corruption among kids of the politically powerful. That doesn't excuse Hunter Biden earning $5 million from getting on the board of a foreign company only because he had a famous dad. But Republicans were falling all over themselves to justify the grifting and outright theft from the Trump kids. Not to mention that 4 years ago, when Nancy Pelosi announced that House Democrats would move toward impeaching Donald Trump in a case, by the way, where he was caught on tape corruptly trying to strong-arm Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine for Trump's own political benefit, it was McCarthy who screamed bloody murder because they had not had a vote in the House to launch the impeachment inquiry. He said it was, quote, a process completely devoid of any merit or legitimacy. And that's how he felt, strongly, to the core of his being, until about 5 minutes ago, when he did the exact same thing and announced an impeachment inquiry with no vote in the House because, you know, politics. And number 3. Kevin McCarthy isn't even really doing this because he believes in it. He's just doing it to try to placate the MAGA crowd so that he can stay in power, and they won't boot him out of the speaker's chair. Meanwhile, the 2 members of Congress that stand for everything today's Republican Party is all about, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz, are having a food fight over who should get credit for this insane impeachment inquiry. It's almost definitional. If Marjorie Taylor Greene is for something, it's clearly got to be galactically stupid. And here comes Matt Gaetz saying, wait, Marge might be getting credit. Hold my beer. You know, when I was a young congressional staffer, I was talking with Arkansas Senator David Pryor, an ally of the Clintons, who told me that even before Bill Clinton took office in 1992, he had Republican colleagues who had made little buttons that said "Impeach Clinton" on them. But they weren't actually going to do it. They sort of stumbled into the fact that the president had an affair with an intern, which gave them an excuse. But they wanted to do it, and 30 years later, we're seeing the end result of everything that they've been building toward. This is a pure power play. Democracy be damned. And they don't even have the capacity to hesitate or feel shame about it anymore.